Welcome to this special episode of the Passionate Spinner podcast. My name is Tracy. You can find me as Schnüffeltier on Ravelry and Instagram. There's a Ravelry group for the podcast. Please come over, join. Thank you so much for being here. So today I'm not going to do a normal real podcast. I'm going to do a sweater recap. That's why I look like a burglar, because I'm dressed all in black because I want to show every sweater that I made. And yeah, I think it's going to be a good one because, as we all know, I have no clue how to edit, so I have to put everything on and off again on camera. So yeah, I did 21 sweaters this year. You cannot really see the tower. I'm going to try to show it to you. So here it is. This is it. This is my sweater tower. I put them on in chronological order so that I can show everything in the order that I need it. So let's see. Okay, I'm gonna start. What could go wrong, right? I mean, everything can go wrong, but who cares? So the first sweater that I knit this year was this sweater here. It is the Sabrina sweater. That's what I called it because the pattern is from a German knitting magazine called Sabrina Strickjournal, and it is out of my handspun yarn. It was a combo spin that I did sometime last year. And now see, I have to put you further away and a bit down so you can see the sweater. So yeah, here it is. Oops. Okay, so the sweater, the first sweater I finished this year, I cast it on January 1st. This is the back. I love this sweater, and I haven't worn it yet because it was just not cold enough, and then I had other things to wear, and yeah. But I really want to wear it because I think it looks amazing. It goes great with a pair of jeans. And yeah, it's a great sweater. It's handspun. The only thing that it does have is a super wide neckline. But really, I mean, I don't mind that. So yeah, first sweater, the Sabrina sweater out of my handspun yarn. So now, let's do this like 18 more times. I'm gonna throw them on the floor when I'm done. Okay, that's the first. Now, the second sweater is another hand-spun sweater. I spun this yarn when I was pregnant with Tim, I remember. And I knit the Nook out of Len magazine, issue number 1. The pattern is by Jonna Hietala. And it's just a, you know, a short sleeve right-hand sweater. There's nothing to it, really. The only thing I changed for this one was I added some shaping for my wider hips. Apart from that, I did exactly as the pattern said, and I knit this one in a size medium. And the other one that I knit, that's going to be at the bottom of this tower here, I did in a large, and I like that better. So yeah, this is the handspun version. Nothing fancy about it, really. It's a short sleeved raglan sweater. It was a super fast project, and I finished it for EYF. Yeah, it's a very good pattern for small amounts of worsted weight yarn that you have in your stash. Then the next sweater I did was my first fingering weight sweater, and it is a Flexlight, and this has been worn so many times. I love it because I love the colors so much. I knit this out of Fernavolle Baby Merino. It's a commercial sock yarn, and I just love this sweater so much. Now wait, yeah, this looks better. So Flexlight by Tin Can Knits. I love it. The sweaters, the sleeves do look a bit short now, but they are not. They are perfect. This whole sweater is perfect. I love everything about this. Unfortunately, my cat does too, and he kneads on it, which isn't good. Gizmo, health! My cat and I just had a little disagreement. I wanted him to go out, and he didn't want to. So now he's outside the door. We'll see. So back to the sweater. So yeah, Merlin likes to knead on it, and he pulls a lot of stitches. So I have to go back and, you know, put them where they belong again, because it's just not good when your cat loves your sweater too much. But yeah, this is it from the back. The The Flexlight has some garter ridges down the sleeves that I did not do. And I just love it. It's a super simple sweater. It's easy to care for. It's just the perfect thing. And also it doesn't have a front and back, so you can just put it on and don't worry about it. Gizmo! Schluss! This cat is driving me crazy lately. I'm not sure what's going on. So after I finished the fingering weight sweater, I wanted to have a quicker project. And so I went from my 3.5 millimeter needles to 9 millimeter needles and finished this gigantic sweater. I had bought the yarn at my local yarn shop as a reward for going to the dentist. And the accent yarn is a worsted weight that I had in my stash. And I used a pattern called Thick and Thin Cardigan, and it is from a book by Stephanie Chappell. And it's this nice and long, very comfy cardigan. Again, I added waist shaping, hip shaping more or less, and also I did add some thumb holes so the sweater would stay on my arms and just be warm, because this is super, super warm. And I'm just so happy with how it turned out. It's one of my favorite things I made this year, I think, simply because the fit is so perfect. It fits just like it was made for me. Yeah. So this was a very easy knit, but I have to say the 9 millimeter needles were hard on my hands, really, really hard. So for that, it wasn't the best idea ever, especially since I think I knit this whole thing in like 9 days or so. Not a good idea. So after my little journey to the big needles, I went back to small ones and knit a few fingering weight things. So the next thing I did was a Ravello. The pattern is by Isabel Kremer. The yarn that I used for this one is hand dyed by my friend Sandra from Kunterbunte Wolle. And the yarn for the sleeves was Fiber Space. So this is the Ravello. I knit this just according to pattern and did again a bit of hip shaping because I do have them, you know. So yeah, I love this. I think it turned out amazing. I did not do the faux seam that the pattern calls for, except for that I did everything like the pattern said to do. Super simple, fingering weight sweater, nice, and also one that I wear a lot because fingering weight sweaters just always go. You know, my super chunky cardigan that I just showed, I can only wear when it's like freezing out. Even now it's too warm and it is freezing outside. So, okay, now I have to take my glasses off because we have a turtleneck and I cannot put that on without my glasses off. So the next thing I did was my first fade sweater of the year, and it was the Piece of Silver by Vera Välimäki. It's another pattern from the first issue of Len magazine, and it is a cropped sweater. And I mean, now with a t-shirt and leggings, it looks a bit stupid, but with my Hollyburn skirt, or one of them, it looks great. So my hair is gonna go awful, but who cares? So yeah, this was my first faded sweater that I did this year. I used another Crafty Girl Stimpy Lap, I think, and knitting color. And I did run out of yarn on the sleeves. They should have been like this long, according to the pattern, but I just knit until I ran out and used up all 3 skeins of this beautiful speckled yarn. And it's one of my favorite sweaters, but because of the turtleneck that is so high, this is so warm because it's just so another sweater for when it's super cold out, despite it being just a cropped fingering weight sweater with short sleeves. It is so warm. Super easy to knit. It's, you know, it's a top-down raglan in stockinette stitch, so there's not a lot to it, but I love it. I want to make another one, but I'm going to do the turtleneck a bit shorter because I learned my lesson from this one. So after I finished that, it was beginning to be summer. And I knit some summer stuff. Summer stuff. Yeah, I knit summer stuff. The first of those things was the Estee top. The pattern is by Justine Alaska. And I knit this in preparation for woolen in Dublin because I was taking a class with her and I really wanted to wear something that she designed for that class because, you know, I'm a bit weird sometimes. And the yarn is Macmillan Fiber Company with seaweed fiber. I don't know. It's a nice summer yarn. It's a bit crumply because, you know, I haven't used it in a while because it's winter now. I used 2 full skeins. It should have been a little bit longer, but I ran out of yarn. But I don't care. You know, it's long enough to cover my belly button, so I will not go with skin showing. And I just have to reblock it, you know, and make sure that it hangs. So it's gonna get a bit longer again. It has a nice, interesting little bit of lace at the top for the saddle shoulder. And after that, it's, again, stockinette around, which seems to be a theme for me this year. Most of my sweaters are stockinette sweaters because I did not have the brain this year, the brain power to knit a lot of patterns. The next thing I knit was another top, and I used up yarn that I had just bought in woolen at the Woolen Fiber Festival in Dublin. This is Giddy Aunt yarns in the Halfpenny colorway, and it is the Emergent Tea by Carrie Bastic Hogue. I changed the pattern because the original pattern has you knitted from the bottom up, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to knit top down because it is a raglan, you know, so it doesn't really matter. And the pattern, I just knit the other way around. I knitted like the chart the way it was and didn't care if it was, you know, standing on its head, but I don't really think it does have a direction, so it doesn't really matter. And what I did for this pattern, or for this sweater, I used a combination of the Ravello and the Flexlight because I had knit those before, and I found that I really liked some parts of one sweater better than the other and the other way around. So what I did was I did type up a generic fingering weight sweater pattern for me with just my numbers, everything that I liked from both of these patterns combined into one. And that is now my go-to pattern for top-down fingering weight raglan sweaters. So I used that pattern and put in the lace front from the Emergent Tea. And you can't really see the lace, but it's beautiful lace. The yarn was an MCN, super nice, super soft. And the back is just plain stockinette. So that was, I bought the yarn and I already just used it up right away. So, oh no, I have to turn it out again. Otherwise this is going to get really, really awful. Okay, now, good. So after I had finished the Emergent Tea, I was looking through my stash for no idea what. And I found 2 skeins that I just loved together. And I used those to knit myself a cropped summer jumper. This is super sparkly. I again used my generic fingering weight sweater pattern. And this is what I came up with. I knit until I had used up every single last bit of the yarn. I did like 6 row stripes with each of them, and I think this is amazing. It turned out so nice. I'm super happy with it. It looks great with black t-shirt underneath and a pair of jeans, but it also looks amazing with my Hollyburn skirts, which, you know, is also a theme here. The back is just stockinette. Like I said, it is the most simple thing ever. And I remember I knit this whole sweater in exactly a week. And I mean, it doesn't have sleeves and it is cropped, so it's not super, super amazing, but still, it's a sweater in a week. And I think it turned out really nice. I like it. So, take it off again. Shake the hair. I feel like I'm talking super fast. I'm sorry. So now, sweater number 10 which is almost halfway there, was this beast of a sweater that I made for my husband. And I've shown it on the podcast, of course. I showed pictures on Instagram, but I'm now going to show you how big this actually is, because, you know, when there's a human in that fits, it doesn't look that big. But let's just see how it will look on me, because for me, this is a bit long. I feel like one of the peanuts trying on the big sister's sweater. So let me close this zip to actually show you what we are talking about. So this is my husband's sweater. The sleeves are a bit long on him, so he has them turned up till here. I'm gonna do that on the other sleeve and show you. I'm still, you know, look at this. I feel like I'm, you know, trying to wear my daddy's stuff when I'm 3 years old. So this was a beast to knit. I knit this for our 10-year wedding anniversary. That was in August this year. And he loves the Big Lebowski. You can't even see. Can you see the bottom of the sweater? It's, it is very warm. I knit this sweater on 6, 7, and 8 millimeter needles. The pattern is by Andrea Rangel. It is a free pattern on Ravelry. The whole thing is knit in 1x1 rib in pieces in color work. So that was a bit of a challenge, I'm not gonna lie. And I knit the whole thing with my husband not present, so it was a complete surprise for him. And he loves his sweater. I mean, he loves it. And I mean, he better, because otherwise, you know. This was a lot of work, but it was also quite a bit of fun. And it did go really fast because of the big needles. You know, this is like in a bulky weight yarn. And the 1x1 rib wasn't as bad as I expected it would be, but yeah, I'm not gonna knit another one. Not gonna happen. So, and then because, you know, I already was into the gigantic things, I decided to knit myself a dress. And this might be one of my most favorite things this year. It's the Lotta dress. I think the pattern is by Marie Green, but I'm actually not really sure. It's from Len magazine, issue number 5, I think. 3. It is very open up top. You know, this is how it's supposed to be. I didn't do anything wrong. This is pattern. And mine is a bit more open because I wanted to use stash yarn. The pattern is written for fingering weight. I used the DK weight and bigger needles. And to make it work for me, I didn't knit my actual size, but I knit size small. And look, it goes to like to 5 centimeters above my knee. It's the perfect length. And this is it from the back. It's a mile of stockinette knit. I mean, this was very boring from here on down, but it was the perfect project to work on in between things. You know, I worked on this while I knit the dude sweater, so that it was just perfect. Now back to the yarn, because I used a DK weight yarn. This is a bit more down than it should be, because it should be, according to pattern, a bit more up, so it doesn't, you know, if this flaps open and I don't wear a t-shirt, you can see everything. So this is how I'm going to wear it exactly, with black leggings, a t-shirt underneath. I think this is just so pretty and so nice. I used yarn from Hamburger Wollfabrik. I used the Avantgarde, which is a cashmere silk and merino blend, and it is just so soft and so nice. I love this thing. So that was the Lotta dress for myself. I know I knit most of the things for myself, but I do have good reasons. I'm going to tell them now. So first thing for Tim, I knit a little flax sweater for Tim, and I knit this while we went to the Perth Festival of Yarn, which was in September. So this is sweater number 12 out of 21. So I knit more sweaters in the second half of the year than I did in the first. So yeah, this is the flax sweater for Tim. I used Briar Rose 4th of July yarn for this. And I had one skein and I used up the whole skein for this. And I knit 3 sweaters in total for Tim this year. And one for my husband because he's big, as you just saw. And I knit 17 for myself. Now the thing is, I only knit 3 sweaters for Tim, but he will only be able to wear them this year. I will hopefully be able to wear mine for the next 30 years if they, you know, last that long. So yeah, I love my son. I love knitting stuff for him, but it just doesn't really make sense for me to knit 10 sweaters for him a year that he can only wear a year, and then he's outgrowing them. So I make him a few things each year, and when he gets older and he can wear things a bit longer, I will make more. But now it's just, it doesn't make sense. So yeah, back. Flax sweater by Tin Can Knits. It's the worsted weight version, again without the garter ridges at the sleeves. So that's the first sweater. Yeah, the first sweater for Tim that I made this year. So I need another sip. Am I really talking that quick, or is it just me? I don't know. Okay, now next thing. It's this thing. It's my Enchanted Mesa that I love, but I'm still not really sure how to wear. I, again, was looking through my stash for don't remember what, and came across these yarns and decided that they really went so well together that I wanted to use them in one project. And I came up with the Enchanted Mesa. And I do like it, but again, I mean, this here is just, if I put this where it should be, then I have the sweater on like this, which means that I have one arm that's a bit usable and one that's just not usable. I'm not sure how to wear this thing. Am I just wearing it wrong? Does it have one longer sleeve and one shorter? Do I have to bunch it up and still pull it down? I don't know. I love the colors. I love how it turned out. The pattern is by Stephen West. I used my hand spun Regia Angora, and this is Wollmeise lace held together with opal sock yarn. And I love the colors. I love everything about this sweater. I just have no idea how to wear it. Is this how you wear it? Does it bunch here or up there? Or do I just have to pull it down and make the sleeves long? Because they are, if I pull it down. I mean, I do like the look of it, you know. I think it is a very stylish sweater. I'm not sure if it's super practical because I can use one arm, but if I want to use the other arm, I'm going to, you know, show things I don't want to show. But apart from that, apart from the not knowing how to wear it, I love it. So this is from the back. It does not have a front and back, so I can put it on the way I want. Could it, you know, with the swoopy things on this shoulder as well. But I have decided for myself that I like this better. Maybe it's because I'm left-handed and this is on my left side. I don't know. But the colors, the style, I love everything about this. And I said it on my podcast before. I really want to get into a bit more of a stylish look, you know, not just comfy, but also a bit stylish. Still no makeup. It's not going to happen. But yeah, I'm just not sure. Please tell me, people, how do I wear this correctly? Is it like this? But, you know, I don't know, but I love it. So it will get worn. I will have bunchies. I'm not gonna care because I really like it. I think the colors are just so good. I'm really proud of that one. So now it's glasses off again because we have another turtleneck. Not sure why I need 2 turtleneck sweaters because I'm actually not a big fan of turtlenecks because I get so warm, but that's the way it goes. So this is the Carbet sweater. The pattern is by Kate Davis. I knit this out of several yarns held together. It was a dark gray cashmere, a black Regia sock yarn, and a yarn that had a lot of different colors in it. All the reds and pinks in here, and the white was one yarn, just, yeah, a not plied yarn where the strands are just all next to each other. So yeah, this is my Carbeth. I love it. It's super warm. This is a real winter sweater. It is knit on 6mm needles or 6.5s. I think I used 6.5s because that was the dilemma of me not being able to find 6.5mm DPNs. But yeah, this is my Carbeth. I didn't do it as big as she. I didn't do it as big as she suggested, you know, with the positive ease. I did it a bit smaller. I really like it. I think it turned out really nice. It looks, again, really great with a pair of jeans and also with one of my Hollyburn skirts. So it's a total win for me. It is very, very warm. So I'm going to have to take it off before I'm going to melt here. This is just so warm. Okay, class is on again because I cannot see anything. Okay, whew. Then October 1st rolled around and Joji Locatelli started her fall knit along that she does every year. And I had applied with 3 different sweaters because I'm crazy. And I knit one and I finished it in time. And it is the Longline Cardigan that I did as another fade. It's a second fade sweater that I made. So here it is. This is my Longline Cardigan. I adore this. I used 5 different skeins of yarn. This up here is actually Hedgehog Fibers DK weight. And then I have a bunch of German indie dyed sport weights. The pattern is for fingering weight, so I knit a size smaller than I would have actually needed. And it turned out perfect. It is nice, it is super long, it covers my bum. It's just, it is perfect. I love this so much. I think the fade turned out so well. This just flows amazingly. And the sleeves are nice and long, and I love it. I used up every single bit of these 5 skeins of yarn. So it did take lots of yarn, but it turned out amazing. I'm going to use this pattern again and knit another one out of sock yarn held with the fuzzy alpaca yarn from Drops because I love this one so much. So yeah, pattern, like I said, is by Joji Locatelli, which is my favorite designer, or one of my favorites. The next sweater, another Joji pattern, and this one gave me a bit of grief. I started it like 2 or 3 years ago and had put it down because of the differences in these skeins of yarn that I had. I bought the yarn in one update from one dyer and they were all 3 very different. You cannot tell the differences now because I did a lot of wrangling and managing and making sure it wouldn't show. And then when I finished the sweater and washed it, it bled horribly. And it didn't only bleed, but it also discolored the whole thing. So this used to be a nice middle gray with vibrant teal and purple and green. And now it's just this, you know, it's muddy. I'm very angry. I will not buy from this dyer again. I know that things can happen, but this is just a bit too much that happened. I washed it again. I had to soak it overnight because my lovely cat pissed on it because he is an asshole. And I had to soak it overnight to make it, you know, wearable again. And the water the next morning was the color of ink. That's how much this bled for the second time. I'm not happy with this. I mean, I do like the finished sweater. It's nice. It's just not at all what it used to be before I washed it for the first time. And that it makes me really angry. The buttons I had in my stash, there's a 5th one up here, but I left it open just because I like that. The back is the same as the front, just without the placket, of course. Pattern is called Timeless Henley. It's by Joji Locatelli. It is in Interpretations book number 3. I love the sweater. I love the pattern. I love, like I said, everything about it. I'm just pissed that it is not as vibrant as it used to be. And, you know, having gone through all the problems with making sure that the colors will work together because they were so different, and it now being almost unimportant because it muddied down so much, it makes me very angry. It's not what I want. I know when you buy hand-dyed yarns that things can bleed a little bit, but that the colors just go away so much and muddy everything down is not what I want from hand-dyed yarn. It's not. And if you say, oh, but it's hand-dyed, that's the way it's supposed to be, that's just wrong. That's just not a good dye job. Sorry, but no, just not. So after that, I needed a project that made me really happy. And I found one. I knit the Mania cardigan by Stephen West. And this is just so wonderful. So now, where's the sleeve? Here. The only thing is, I'm going to knit this again. I have yarn set aside for 2 more of these. I'm going to make the sleeves bigger because these sleeves are very tight. I knit the small size because he did the medium and he is a lot larger than me. You know, just not just in height, but in width. So I decided to do the small, which is perfect for me. It falls just, I love this sweater so much. But I'm gonna do the sleeves bigger for my second version. So here it is. I used 8 skeins of yarn. I didn't use up all of it, of course, but I had decided on 8 skeins of yarn. I'm gonna show it to you like this while I talk. So I took out 8 skeins of yarn. They were all either green or brown or orange or a mixture of these 3 colors. And I decided to take out all of the leftovers that I had in these colors as well and mix them in. And then I just, I did it like that. I used these colors. I'm so happy that I went with a color theme for this one. I, like I said, have already put aside yarn for 2 more. One's going to be completely brown, different shades of brown, of course, but you know, brown. And the other one is going to be gray color with all the colors I can imagine for the rest of the sweater. So I'm going to end up with 3 very different versions, but I really want to make all of them because this is the most comfortable thing ever. And I'm not sure how he did it, but this is just, oh, it's so warm and cozy and just stylish and wonderful and just, it's perfect. It is perfect. So yeah, that was sweater number 17 for this year. Now we have some more for Tim. We went on a very short notice, like we always do, little trip to Ireland in November, and I brought this with me. It is the little worsted sock arms. The pattern was just released a day before we left. It is by Stephanie Lotvin, I hope, I'm pretty sure. So I reversed the actual idea of the pattern. So the pattern idea is that you use a solid for the body and a self-striping yarn for the sleeves. And I just used the variegated for the body and a solid for the sleeves because I had this yarn. I thought it would look very cute on Tim, and it does, but the sleeves are super tight. I don't know if that is my fault or if the pattern just has you do the sleeves super tight. I'm not sure, but they are very, very tight. So yeah, I knit this on vacation for my son. It's super sweet. It's gonna fit this year and definitely not next because of the sleeves. They are so tight. I don't know why. Oh my, oh God, I'm super fuzzy now. Okay, now next, I knit another Nook. Now these are the things that I knit recently. You've seen these before. So this is Nook number 2. The sweater, the pattern, like I said, is from Len magazine, issue number 1. It is by Jonna Hietala, who is one of the editors of Len magazine. This time I knit the size large, And I actually prefer this version because it's a bit more relaxed and I don't like things that are super tight. I used a yarn from Lana Grossa called Gomitolo 200. It was one 200 gram skein with 700 meters, and I had quite a substantial bit left over in the end because I didn't want it to be longer, because the way it is now I can wear it with jeans and my skirts, but if it gets longer I can still wear it with jeans, of course, but not with the skirts because they are flared, and putting something on a flared skirt will make it look like this, and that's just not a good look. So I decided to stop when I stopped, and I'm super happy. This yarn is a single. It is very lofty, very airy, and therefore this thing is super warm, like super, super warm. It does stripe. Now that's my phone. Pretty sure that's my mother. Gonna have to let it ring. I'm sorry. This is what happens. I feel like I should do a little waiting song in between. I will not. Okay. There's only 2 more sweaters to go, you know. She could have waited for like 10 minutes. Okay, now. Okay. The last sweater I made for myself this year was another quickie. I knit this in about 10 days. The pattern is called A Cropped Sweater for Winter. It's by Andy Sutherland. And I used my handspun yarn for this. And I'm so happy with how this one turned out. It's perfect. It is the perfect sweater. It's very fun. It's colorful. I used my handspun, like I said. I used the leftover yarns that I do once a year with all the leftover bits on my bobbins plied together to one gigantic skein. And that's what I used for this sweater. I ran out of yarn here, so that's the length of it. The sweater itself is a bit longer than a pattern asks for because it should sit at the waist, and I just wanted it to be a smidge longer. Again, looks amazing with the Hollyburn skirt. Looks also great with jeans. This is the back. It is a top-down set-in sleeve sweater, and it was a lot of fun to knit. Mainly because of the yarn, I think. It's just, the pattern is a free pattern, and it's just, yeah, look it up. It's amazing. It looks great. You know what? I'm going to leave it on because the last thing I have to show is the sweater for Tim that I have not shown on the podcast yet. But I finished his penguin sweater. Here it is. So this was the last sweater that I finished this year. It's going to be the last because I need a little break right now. I'm all knit out. This is an Intarsia penguin sweater, and he asked me to knit this for him when we looked through a knitting magazine that I had bought in November in Ireland. It's from Simply Knitting, the November issue, and or December, I don't know. So yeah, he saw it and he asked me to knit this for him. So I used Tivoli Tweed DK, that's a yarn that is made in Ireland, and I got it there. And these are just different leftovers that I used for the penguin and the headphones and the beak and the musical notes up here that I had to embroider on because it's a music penguin, and that was very important for Tim because he loves music. So sweater number 21, the last sweater for this year, and also the cutest of all of them, I think. So that is it. 21 sweaters. I'm not going to do that again next year, I think. We will see. But yeah, I'm actually really proud of this. I know most of these were knit stockinette stitch, but I don't care. I managed a lot this year, and I'm very grateful for being able to do this because I love it so much. And I'm also very grateful for every one of you watching this, being there to encourage me. So I'm not sure if I will be able to do a normal podcast before the year ends or not, but if you're interested, we do have another weekend coming on the 29th of December, 9 p.m. German time. That is GMT +1. So I hope to see you there. Oh, I'm cutting off my head. Here we go. I'm sorry. So yeah, I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas. If I will not talk to you before the new year, I hope you have a wonderful new year. And thank you for watching. Thank you for your encouragement, and bye.